Hi. Welcome to InfoVault. I'm Jessie here again, one of the explainers of InfoVault. Have you ever wondered how all these machines or servers connected to the internet communicate with each other? Or, for instance, have you ever wondered how these websites, hosted somewhere on machines, are fetched and browsed on your browser? And how am I talking to you now, through this InfoVault streaming video? What makes any of today's internet activities possible? To understand this, you first need to know that each machine or server connected to a network is identified by its own unique IP address for communication. For instance, when you type in a domain name like example.com into your browser first needs to know the IP address of the machine or server hosting the website example.com to establish the connection and communicate. This is when DNS records are handy. Before jumping right into the topic, let's learn about DNS records. So, what is a DNS record? DNS stands for Domain Name System. A DNS record contains the data or information to which a particular domain name is pointing to, enabling a service intended for that specific DNS record type. Or in other words, a DNS record contains the data or information to which a particular domain name points, enabling a service intended for that specific DNS record type. DNS records can broadly be categorized into those that consist of instructions and those that do not. An instructional DNS record contains a set of instructions that a DNS resolver follows when processing that record. An example of an instructional DNS record is an A record. The four components that describe an A record are: 1. The DNS record of type. A indicates that it's a DNS record of type address, meaning it contains the IP address of the server hosting the website or service of the domain name to which the DNS record applies to. 2. The name field with the special character or symbol @ indicates that this A record applies to the root domain name. For instance, in our case, it's example.com. If it's for a subdomain name like www.example.com, then the text www is entered in the name field. 3. The data field takes the IP address of the server hosting the website or service of the domain name to which the DNS record applies to. Because it's in A record that we are adding, the IP address field typically takes the IP address of the server hosting the website or web application of the domain name to which the DNS record applies to. 4. The TTL field takes the time duration information. TTL stands for time to live. It's an instruction on how long the cache should live. The TTL associated with each DNS record of a domain name tells the DNS resolvers how long they should cache that record before checking back with the authoritative name server. For instance, in our case, it's 3,600 seconds, which is 1 hour. A DNS resolver caches the obtained DNS record to serve the subsequent requests, which reduces the load on the authoritative name server. Or in other words, a DNS resolver caches the obtained DNS record to serve future requests for the same domain name, reducing the load on the authoritative name server. If you want to learn about the role and functionalities of the DNS resolver and authoritative name server, please check the link in the description box, which has a video that explains DNS resolution visually. The difference between A and Quad A records is that the A record contains an IPv4 address, whereas the Quad A record contains an IPv6 address. An A record is instructional because it directs the DNS resolver to the IP address associated with the domain name. This translation from domain name to IP address allows browsers and other services to locate and connect to the correct server, making it a crucial component for internet navigation. A non-instructional DNS record is simply a DNS record that does not consist of instructions, but contains information. An example of a non-instructional DNS record is a TXT record. TXT text record contains text information for various purposes, such as domain ownership verification, SPF records for email validation, and general notes. A TXT text record is non-instructional because it provides supplementary information rather than directing the DNS resolver on core functions. It stores text-based data used for purposes like domain ownership verification and email authentication, supporting various services without directly influencing the resolution process. This is Jessie, one of the explainers of InfoVault. This video's content is created by NARESH RAMINI, content creator and infographic explainer video designer of InfoVault and the reason for inception and execution of InfoVault. Thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share. And if you want to keep up along, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you wouldn't miss any of our future updates and content. Signing off. Goodbye.